I have a trial right now that I've been going through, and it's been going on for pretty much 4 months, and we only been to court like 4 days, and the trial already started. It's been 6 months since the petition was put in, which was April, and so I'm looking for advice on that.
The petition for what? What kind of petition?
Detention.
Okay.
Did they remove the child away from you? All right, I'm Attorney Vince Davis. This is The Secret, How to Fight Child Protective Services and When. I'm on with my co-host tonight, Aaron Carranza and Amanda Cisco. Amanda, it looks like on the live stream you have somebody with you. Who is that?
I do. We have my friend who I brought on as a guest a couple of weeks ago, Tiffany Wise. She is a constitutional mogul and hopefully soon maybe a co-host as well.
Okay, very good. How you doing, Tiffany?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I remember having you on as a guest on, I think, on Aaron's show, right?
Yeah. No, it wasn't Aaron's show. It was my show. It was the
Georgette.
civil rights struggle with Aaron on there. Aaron was there that
Okay.
night with us.
Very
And then
good.
Georgette.
Very good, very good. Ladies, we're going to have to take another call. We still got a bunch of people here. Let's talk to Davia from California. Davia, did you have a story to tell or a question to ask?
I got a question.
Okay.
Subject question. Yeah. So I have a trial right now that I've been going through, and it's been going on for pretty much 4 months, and we only been to court like 4 days, and the trial already started. It's been 6 months since the petition was put in, which was April, and so I'm looking for advice on that.
The petition for what? What kind of petition?
Detention.
Okay.
Did they remove the child away from you?
Yeah, they did. They did it illegally without a warrant. I was a custodial parent, but my daughter was with her mother, and she was abused. She got into a fight with her mother, and they took her, and instead of giving her back to me, they gave her to one of her family members, and I was a custodial parent.
Do you, you have if that's true, you have a claim under Section 1983 of the Federal Civil Rights Laws, but it won't help you in your juvenile case, unfortunately. Do you have a court-appointed attorney that's helping you get the child back?
I do.
Okay.
I'm doing most of the work, though.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
have you talked to your attorney, and have you guys come up with a plan and a strategy?
Yeah, somewhat. She really haven't been putting in I got like a bunch of emails from the family court minor lawyer that my daughter had. I got a bunch of emails from the school communication, from the therapist. So everything that they saying, I have information that's contradiction. But my lawyer, this whole time, she never put it in. So I heard from one of your shows that I can go in there and file myself. So that's what I've been doing. I've been going in there and finally been able to file.
Hold on a second. You may have misunderstood me. I apologize.
Okay.
All right. First of all, you can't use emails. They're hearsay. If you want to use emails, you have to bring the person in court that wrote that email. All right.
Okay.
The only way that it can get into evidence is if the social worker puts it in a report. And if it helps you, I doubt the social worker is going to put it in a report for you. So you're going to have to bring in the email, but you have to bring in the person that wrote that email. And in order to bring in the person that wrote that email, you're going to have to send out a subpoena, and you're going to have to serve it on the person who wrote the email directing them to come to court at a certain date and time. But, that's something you and your attorney are going to have to work out, and she's going to have to help you with that. I don't know.
I got one more question. I got another thing too.
Hold on a second. Amanda was trying to jump in. Go ahead, Amanda.
I have a very brief question that might help our viewer. So he mentioned that he has a court-appointed attorney, but he has been filing his own, petitions through the court. Can you do that, Vince? If you have an appointed attorney, are you still allowed to file things on your own behalf?
It depends. It depends on the judge, depends on the clerk. Sir, I don't know what you could have been filing. If you were filing copies of your emails, it's a waste of time.
I was filing affidavits. I got
no good. If you affidavits are hearsay.
Well, I got my therapist. The therapist, they've been subpoenaed. I subpoenaed all of the social workers. I had 3 of them already testify, and they didn't do too good. Then I had a therapist come in, and I also got a parenting alienation expert.
Oh, good. Did your therapist? Did your attorney arrange for that alienation expert to come in?
I had to push it. She tried to. She said that she got an opinion, and she had an opinion, and they said that we didn't need it. But I talked to my last lawyer. Because I fired him, but I talked to him and I talked to his supervisor, and they promised me they was going to give me a parenting alienation. So I brought that back up and kind of like pushed the issue for that. But she wasn't for it at first.
Right.
And then she got
the typical, conflict between attorneys and clients. Attorneys think one way, clients think the other, and rarely do they meet. But it sounds like you're getting your witnesses in court. It sounds like they're presenting the evidence. And if you're truly, from what you've described to me, you're one of those non-offending parents, it's going to, and if that's true, it's going to be hard for me to see that you're going to lose the trial. Now, you may not be accurate in all the facts. I haven't reviewed your file or the facts in your case, but it sounds kind of weird that you'd be a non-offending parent and you'd have to be presenting all of these witnesses at trial, which leads me to believe that if you're presenting all of these witnesses, they're making some type of allegation against you, even if it's false.
What they did was I had full custody of my daughter because the mother of my child lost custody for mental health neglect. So I had her. And then once she got unsupervised visits, my daughter's at the age to where she got back with her mother, her grades dropped back again, unsupervised, and she didn't want to come back. She wanted to stay with her friends and be in that environment. So I had to go back to court, try to get her back. The court put her on punishment, made her come back, but her mother was just like, it was just a big thing between her mother because she had CPS, and she was trying to like use CPS against me. So long story short, from January to April, they kept her with her mother. While I was going to court, family court, she got into 4 fights with her mother, and the police were called. And 2 of the fights, they never called me. And the whole time they were just pushing mental health services. But I was letting them know, like, my daughter was having physical fights with her mother, and they need to take her. So that's what we was fighting between that. And when they took her from her mother that last time, they put mental health neglect on me. So they took, and so they put mental health neglect on me. But I had my daughter in services and everything. She just wasn't I'm the custodial parent Monday through Friday, and her mother just kept her, and my daughter stopped going to therapy, stopped going to school.
But you know what, Davia, you're going to have to bring in those the witnesses and the documents via subpoena to show that you had the child in services, all right? Because it sounds like the social worker is saying you didn't have the child in services, and therefore, we're trying to take the kid away from you.
And I got the transcripts, and she committed
2 minutes.
The transcripts and the therapist recommendations, and what the therapist saying is different.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But so anyway, so I got another one. So go ahead. Sorry about that.
Oh, Oh no, you're okay. So I wanted to just, make this remark from my own personal experience. I remember you from a few radio shows ago, actually, and I remember your story, and it sounds very familiar to some of the things that I've been through on my case. And I just want to give you a piece of advice, not to get caught up in, the tit for tat, from one parent against the other. Because ultimately it affects the children, in a very negative way. And in retrospect, I was in the same position as you. I felt that I was very justified in the things that I was, making claims about. But at the end of the day, if I could turn back time, I don't think that I would have fought so hard to keep my children, 100% in my control. I would have tried a little bit harder to work with the other parent despite their flaws. Because
1 minute.
But sometimes parents get caught up in this tit for tat, and it just blows out of proportion. And I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but if I could give parents one piece of advice who are caught up in these custody battles, it's that at the end of the day, the children deserve to be with both parents, despite their flaws. With the exception of extenuating circumstances when they're not safe.
Right.
And just try to be, a little bit more, if you can, just try to be a bit more open.
Hey, Amanda, I want to thank you for that. I agree with you 100%. The engineer says we are taking a break. This is The Secret, How to Fight CPS and Win. We'll be right back after these messages.